Wake that up.
LA's #1 hip-hop morning show is Nick Cannon Mornings on Power 106.
Nick Cannon Radio, we are going all the way up, and it is time for close conversations. Yes, up close and personal conversations with people that I admire, that I look up to, fixtures in the game. And this gentleman is all of the above and so much more. A true icon, a true legend, and that's what we are here to talk about with the one and only Godfathers of the game, Kurtis Blow.
Yes. Hey, Nick, what's up? What's up, my man?
Man, it's all love. Now, again, I would be remiss to say how much of an honor this truly is. And I feel like that's what I want to talk to you mainly about, like being a founder in this giant conglomerate and culture that we call hip-hop that is going on to generate billions and billions of dollars. And for right now, for us to be celebrating one of the longest running hits in hip-hop and one to set it off, The Breaks, 40 years, man. A 40-year like anthem. How does it feel to know, one, that you are one of the forefathers of this, definitely on the Mount Rushmore of hip hop, but then that to know that this song still bangs to this day?
You know, it's a wonderful feeling. I tell you, it's kind of hard in, this present day and time because of all the protests, and racism is at the forefront of everything right now. And the cell phone has just definitely, just changed our lives. And we're dealing with that every day. So it's like, for me to even take the time out to enjoy life or enjoy my legacy and what I've been through right now, it just seems a little bad in timing wise. But we do need a break.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's what your song is about, though. When you talk about, like, these are the breaks, you know what I mean? Like, the things that actually, the trials and tribulations, and how to overcome those through music and through art form. And that's what hip hop was always about. And
it's about just taking the time out from all of this crisis that we're dealing with, to just go back in time and relive those moments when things were fun, when things were pleasant, and take a break from all of the pain that we're experiencing right now. And so it's a nice break for me.
And as much as it is a break, and I always say, like, 2020 is the year of reset and the year of ascension. And when I say that, to ascend is to overcome obstacles. And that's what, this culture that you helped nurture actually has done for so many, as well as yourself. And one thing we kind of got the business out of the way and all of the congratulatory conversations. But one thing, man, I really just want to say, how are you doing? Because knowing that, you've actually, overcome some health obstacles in the most recent past, and like you said, in the midst of a pandemic and all that stuff, to really appreciate life at this moment, to be sitting here talking to you. I remember it wasn't too long ago, like we was, hey, make sure you say a prayer for Kurtis Blow and all that stuff, and man, you looking better than ever. So I guess the prayers worked.
Yes. I am a walking, breathing, living testimony of the power of God, and I just want to take time out to thank everyone for praying for me, man. All of you guys, everybody around the country, all of my family, my wife from 36 years. She's my prayer warrior. Wow. I thank her, man. It's given me the chance to really just sit back and enjoy life to the fullest. Now, I heard that you also went through the same kind of, life threatening
a couple times.
And and so when you go through those things, you have the opportunity, the chance to sit back and just realize, oh my gosh, I'm breathing because of the power of God. He could have took me. I mean, I'm not supposed to be here.
Right.
I died in cardiac arrest, and they hit me with the bop gun and all that.
Wow.
I'm like, now it's life is so much more. When you go through something like that, you sit back and you really take the time out to say, wow, this thing, life, is really something special. And you enjoy every moment from that point on. And I know you can relate to that, because I know you're experiencing that every day. When you wake up in the morning, I know you're saying, thank God my eyes are open.
Absolutely.
Any day above ground is a good day.
I was about to say,
so
that's what I wake up saying every single day. Any day on this side of the grass is a good one.
You know what I'm saying? So, I'm very happy now, generally, with everything about life. And even in these crisis times, these present times, I have more compassion and empathy for the people who have tested positive for the coronavirus, and also the people who have experienced a loss in their family, all the deaths. My compassion and empathy, my condolences to all the families out there dealing with this crisis right now. And it's just crazy. But, there is a light at the end of this tunnel. I do see a light. I'm encouraged by the when you turn on the TV and you see all the protesters out there, you see multicultural groups of people out there.
They making history out there.
You know what I mean? And it's amazing to see, white people stand up and say, for the first time in my life, I'm hearing Black Lives Matter. Yeah. That's so encouraging to me, to see how the people are standing up, and it really expresses that melting pot kind of culture that we have here in America, and the people are standing up saying that, we're not going to take this anymore, and we are ready for change.
Kurtis Blow giving us a word. Now, speaking of, you got to tell me a little bit about this hip hop church that I'm hearing about. I mean, you've been dropping bars, so I know you get an opportunity to often talk about the goodness of God. But now I feel like, is there a hip hop church forum that one can partake in?
We shut the hip hop church down because of the COVID-19 epidemic. And so we just started talking back again a couple of weeks ago about returning back in September.
I was going to say, we got to do it virtually. We got to get it going virtually.
Yes. And that's what we're talking about doing right now. We just had a service yesterday with a lot of our church members and organizations. But the hip hop church is an incredible ministry. It's a musical youth ministry. Jesus is still at the center of the ministry. There are about, a couple of hundred hip hop churches around the country.
Yeah.
But the basic thing about it is it's just like any church that you would visit on a Sunday. We have our processional and an opening prayer. We have our sermon, the offering, and of course, words of encouragement. And then we have our recessional.
Man, so it's so powerful.
It's the same format.
Yeah, to see obviously to see Rev Run, who used to be known as the son of Kurtis Blow, to see yourself to operate in this in your spiritual gifts, knowing that when hip hop originated, it was a street form, and now it's going all the way to where it's actually saving lives in a religious sense. And then we see brothers like Kanye West and Lecrae and so many other people sharing their messages and their beliefs. How does that make you feel, man? Seeing the growth and the journey of hip hop, but now to know that you've seen every aspect from it, from the beginning to where it is now, from it being a street culture thing and about the salacious mindsets and the misogynistic approach to where now you can actually save a life and be married for 36 years and all of these things like that. That's showing the birth, the growth, and the maturation of this entire culture.
Yes, I say this a lot, that it's a blessing. It's a straight blessing. I say this a lot, that I really think that God created hip hop. For a lot of people, if you think back in those times, we were oppressed in the Bronx and Harlem, and the Bronx was burning. I know you saw that documentary about the fires in the Bronx in the 70s, and New York was broke, and the landlord owners were burning up their buildings to collect the insurance money, and it became a scam all around New York City. Every day there was a different building burning. And so these kids come out of all of that oppression, And instead of moving out, a lot of them stayed in those abandoned buildings and just jimmied the electricity and had speakers outside the window. And, you know, there was a community organizer who said one time, the buildings are burning down on one side of the street, but the kids on the other, they're trying to put something together. And that was a parable of how hip hop came out of all of this degradation, all of this oppression, by saying that we're expressing ourselves. We live in all this dirt. We live in all this rubble and all this abandoned buildings and fired up degradation, all this oppression. We live in all these slums, and we poor people, we live in all of this dirt, but we're not dirt, you know? And that's how hip hop started. So I was there and I saw it with my own eyes, and big shout out to all the pioneers like Kool Herc and DJ Hollywood, Africa Bambaataa, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, the Funky Four, the Treacherous Three, the Crash Crew, the Fantastic Five, the
all of them.
Four, Love Buck Starsky, Eddie Cheever. Man, all my peeps, I love you guys dearly. Thank you, thank you.
Now
we changed the world.
Yeah, now I'm glad you bring that up, because that one like it gives me the opportunity to bring up the conversation that my man Swiss Beats has recently offered to the culture, talking almost about like a hip hop pension plan or social security, or the current artists who are making millions upon millions of dollars through the technology of hip hop, through everything that you guys originally birthed, that we almost should have to pay our dues or pay our hip hop taxes to make sure brothers like you who paved the way, who, you know, not everyone is as blessed as Kurtis Blow. Like some of those names that you name aren't financially able to take care of their family off of an art form where there's generated billions and billions of dollars that they'll never see. How do you feel about that? Should we create some type of union or make these young artists have to pay taxes to the pioneers?
Well, you know, we tried to create a union. We tried to start a union. It was myself and Chuck D and the NAACP, and we went to the unions, to AFTRA and SAG, and we started negotiating, but it fell through, and they knocked us down. This was about 10 years ago, but I would love to see that happen. I think we got
to take responsibility ourselves and do it. I mean, all those other unions are great, but I think, again, there's so many millionaires, there's a few billionaires now, that if we put something aside, not only will it take care of the pioneers that are currently there, but even as those people get older, there'll be some type of financial structure. This goes back to educating our community about financial literacy, about, hey, you might have $1 million right now, but if you ain't paying towards something for your future, how are you going to be able to take care of yourself?
I think that is a great idea. I would work with you if you need me. I'm your partner. Let's do it.
I'm all in now, and I have to say this, because we see great artists today, like whether it's Drake, whether it's Jay-Z, Kanye West. If the youngsters that are watching this or listening to this right now don't understand or know, you were that level of artist. I remember, I'm going to keep it a stack. My mama met you in the airport one day and was like, oh my God, I met Kurtis Blow. And you signed an autograph, and I had that autograph on the refrigerator for years. And then, you know, I'm an 80s baby all day long, but just to know, like, whether it's from the breaks or Christmas rapping or all of those things, the level of stardom that you were at the beginning of hip-hop, you were the biggest star in hip-hop. To see these guys today taking their stardom to the next level. But one, I just wanted to lay the groundwork for everybody to understand what it was, that none of us would be here if it wasn't for you. But to even know, like, it was people crying, screaming, passing out. Kurtis Blow was the first superstar in hip hop. And do you feel like people recognize and know and understand that?
Oh, yes, they do. They do, Nick. I mean, it's straight honor. It's the best form of flattery. I mean, I have to, you know, sometimes come back down to earth.
Yeah.
But it's incredible. I have a balance that a lot of people don't know who I am. I can actually go to restaurants and sit down with my family and eat a meal, and maybe I'll have to sign one autograph. All right.
Right.
But 1 out of 10 people will recognize me on the street.
Right.
So it works out a balance where it's not too bad. It's not like I'm Michael Jackson where everybody sees my picture or and I can't walk down the street. I got to sign 1 million autographs. At one time,
but at one time, you and Michael Jackson was right there.
It was like that. It was like that at one time. But I cherish the moments that I can realize that it's not like that anymore.
So, what would be your advice to those type of people, to the Drakes and the Jay-Z's and whoever that next superstar rapper is that's coming up that is going to experience that heightened sense of reality that we call superstardom, megastardom?
Well, here's the deal. What it is that you as an artist need to live. You need to have that self-control to know that, okay, you're at this point of your life where it's stardom. You can't go anywhere. You got to set it up. You got to have bodyguards, roll with 5, 6, 10 people at a restaurant. You can't go to the movies. So you have to keep your sanity and don't let it make you go crazy, because if you're stuck in the house, it's just like we're dealing with right now. When they shut everything down and you can't go outside, people actually, have problems with that. You see everybody, they can't take it anymore. They got to go outside. So this is the story of your life. You can't do anything. And so you need to understand this is what you signed up for. Don't let it get you upset and anger. Always sign those autographs and take those pictures with your fans. This is what you signed up for. I remember I got this one story I'll tell about Luther Vandross, my buddy, rest in peace. We were on tour together. And I remember seeing Luther at the airport. We were on the same flight. So we're going to the next city. And Luther's in the airport. And I see him. He has this big cast on his hand. Every finger has a cast on it, right? He's got this big cast. I said, Luther, what happened? What happened to your hand? Are you going to do the show tonight? Are you going to perform? He said, oh, no, Kurt. He took the cast off and wiggled his fingers and said, no, I just don't want to sign autographs. And I'm like, oh, my God, you are something else. You know what I mean? But this is what we signed up. So this is what we've signed up for. So you got to always be humble and nice to your fans because they don't forget. If you be mean to them one time, they're going to talk about you and spread the news, and your reputation is going to get out there, and people are not going to come to your concerts or buy your records and stuff like that.
Man,
so very important.
Such a powerful statement from one of the pioneers of hip hop, one of the greats. So you know what we got to do? We got to put him in the firing squad like we do all of our artists. But he has the wisdom. He is one of the godfathers of the game. So I know he's about to bless us. It's time to get into that firing squad. Rapid fire questions. Some psychological, some philosophical, and we know you're gonna handle this one so easy. And I'm not concerned at all. I'm actually probably gonna pull out my pen and pad and take notes because he about to bless us with some wisdom. We always started off. The first question is a psychological as well as a philosophical question. They say in psychology that there's only really 2 emotions, love and fear, and every other emotion stems from that. And then Niccolo Machiavelli actually studied, the Italian philosopher, said that if you can't be loved, then you might as well be feared. So when it comes to love and fear, what's more important to Mr. Kurtis Blow?
Oh, definitely. Right off the top, love is the most important thing in the universe. It's the most powerful thing in the universe. Okay? Yeah. We need love to conquer hate. We need love. Love is the only thing that can conquer hate. If you repay hate with hate, that only multiplies hate. Martin Luther King said that. So love is the most important emotion.
There it is. Now, then, so we did have to have a conversation about fear. What would be Kurtis Blow's greatest fear?
My greatest fear, wow, just recently is going broke.
I think that's everybody's fear right now.
Your operations was something else. I'm gonna tell you.
Well, hey, we happy you still here with us. Most definitely. Now, we lighten it up a little bit. Kurtis Blow's favorite movie.
Oh my gosh, I have a few.
Crush
I'm
Groove.
gonna say off the top, RoboCop.
RoboCop. You took it to the 80s for real, for real. I used to love RoboCop too. Crush Groove is in my top 5 as well, though. I can't front. All right.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Thank you.
I would have to say the best piece of advice Kurtis Blow has ever received. What would that be?
The best piece of advice I ever got was education, education, education is the key to success. Education is also the key to getting out of the ghetto.
Indeed.
Do your research, and take the culture into the classroom and the classroom into the culture. That's what I did. And here's another point of that. Now, whatever you want to do, I tell people this all the time. Look at my wife. She running. Whatever it is you want to do, doctor, lawyer, businessman, accountant, rapper, DJ, study the history of that field. Then within that history, analyze one or two people who were successful in that field that you want to go into.
I heard
Study the moves that they made to achieve their success. Then you go ahead and repeat those moves, and you too will achieve success.
There it is. Some great
advice.
I
can't guarantee it. I don't want to guarantee it, but it's some good advice.
Now, what's the worst piece of advice Kurtis Blow has ever received?
Oh, try these drugs.
There's some way you had to get the name Kurtis Blow.
Try these drugs. Hey, man.
They
know the drugs, y'all.
Absolutely.
They know the drugs.
Now, people don't know that you coined the phrase, if I ruled the world. That was your song first. So this is a new one in the firing squad. If there was one law, if you were the ruler of the world and you could create it that everybody had to abide by, what's one law that Kurtis Blow would create?
It has to go. I have to follow my man Jesus and say, love God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, and all your strength.
I heard that.
With control go to length, like Talented 10 down in the trenches, presenting a new outlook on life. It's called the gospel.
I heard that. Now, if there was one law that currently exists that you could get rid of, what would that be? And it could be a universal law. It could be gravity. It could be whatever any kind of law you want.
I'm thinking about the 13th Amendment, man.
I heard that.
13th Amendment. For all men are created equal, but they should be treated equally.
Right. Don't try to sneak slavery back in on us. I see what you're doing there. I understand now. Now let's talk. Kurtis Blow's greatest accomplishment.
Wow, I have a few, man. I think my greatest would be seeing my son graduate from Stanford University.
Wow, that is an accomplishment right there.
And he went and met the president, Obama. Yes, he did.
The real president.
Yeah.
Now, I have to ask you this, though. That was your greatest accomplishment. What was Kurtis Blow's biggest mistake?
I have a couple of those too. I think the biggest one. I have so many. I would say using drugs.
Right. Yeah.
Using drugs for about 5 years in my life.
Yeah.
That was a waste of time.
Man, that's powerful. And you live to tell the tale and tell others not to do it. So we appreciate you for that. Now,
thank God.
We talk top 5 on this show all the time. And since you are a pioneer, we're going to go top 5 hip-hop pioneers.
Well, all right. First, let me give my first opinion. Then I'll go. Okay, you do that. The first one is me.
Yeah, of course. Myself, me, moi.
Kurtis Blow and Kurt Walker.
I love it.
Nah. pioneers.
But
like
the OGs, like, because they don't get enough credit. Cool Herc.
Cool Herc, Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel, Kurtis Blow, and I'll throw Grand Wizard Theodore in there.
Ooh, that's a lot of people don't know what's up there. Do your homework right there. Those are the top 5 pioneers in the game. Now, we talk bars as well. You were one of the first to kind of lay some bars down. What's the greatest bar Kurtis Blow has ever spit?
I think my first one, the first one I wrote in college when my college crew asked me to come to this hot club in New York called Wild Wild Wednesdays at Charles Gallery on 125th Street. So I went up there and I wrote this rhyme in class. I was in school. I was in college. I wrote this rhyme in, and I was studying about history. And it was we were reading the book, The Crucible. So I came up with this rhyme. In the 1600s, we couldn't dance. You were burned on the cross for a literal man's. They called you a witch or a mean warlock. America will hang you if you tried to rock. But I know that you know it wasn't true for those Africans in Timbuktu. They danced all day, they danced all night. An African dance was a hell of a sight, but this is the year of the 1980s. All the ladies are in a Mercedes. You come out your house, jump in a cab. The dippy dabs, the so you laugh. You come on down to the place to be, then you listen to the sounds of little old me, and I rock. And I don't stop.
Oh, hip hop history right there. What year was that? What year did you put that
1977.
Together? Wow. That's OG. Well, we've been having a real incredible conversation up close and personal with one of the pioneers, man. We salute him. We celebrate him in so many different ways, and we always end the firing squad this way. We talk legacy. Clearly, you have created one. You are iconic, but when it's all said and done, what's the one word that would describe Kurtis Blow the best?
Wow. Man of God.
Powerful. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a conversation with the man of God, the pioneer, the one and only Kurtis Blow. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you so much.
No doubt. It's all love. Nick Cannon Radio. You know how we keep it rocking.